Hi, Big Dreamers. It's episode 7, and today we welcome Jonny Umansky and Zach Hyatt, best friends and writing partners in Hollywood. You ready? It's time to dream big.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. We're inspiring you to shoot for the moon, take aim and go. We bring to you amazing guests who truly love what they do. Every day they're living their dreams, and so can you. Dream big, take action to reach your goals. Are you pumped yet? It's showtime, let's rock and roll.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast show. I'm your host, Eva Cartman.
And I'm your co-host and Eva's mom, Olga Cartman.
And today we are very lucky to have Jonny Umansky and Zach Hyatt on the show.
Jonny and Zach are successful Hollywood writers, and they write as a team, which they tell us all about in this episode.
In the movie that they wrote, Legends of the Hidden Temple, is premiering on Nickelodeon this Sunday, November 26th at 8 p.m. Eastern.
This is so exciting. We can't wait to see it and encourage you all to do the same. In our show notes, dreambigpodcast.com/7, you'll find links to where you can learn more about the movie and anything else we mention in this episode.
And because Jonny and Zach are writing partners, we have a special activity download challenging you to create a story with a friend or family member. As always, this download can be personalized with your face and name and is 100% free. Check it out at dreambigpodcast.com/7.
If you complete this activity and let us know, you'll be entered into a drawing to win $50 Amazon gift card, so you can get games or toys of your choice, and 1 month's membership to the Postpal Club, the sponsor of this podcast. Stay tuned to the very end of this episode for all the details. Our show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/7 have all the instructions you need, as well as links to all the resources mentioned in this episode.
Thank you so much, and let's get to our episode with Jonny and Zach. Roll the tape, Mom.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hey there. Hi.
Welcome to the Dream Big podcast.
Oh, thanks so much for having us. We're really excited to be here.
We are also so excited. This interview is going to be so much fun for a number of reasons.
Oh, yeah?
First, this is my very first time interviewing 2 people at once, so that should be interesting.
Yeah, Eva prepared a lot of interesting questions, and
Second, I love reading and writing.
Oh,
yes.
Those are 2 of our favorite things also.
Most of the time of the day, I'm either reading or writing.
Us too.
And she like you guys, she also likes to do a lot of creative projects with her best friend. So she can't wait to ask you on that part.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, we are excited for all of your questions today.
Me too. I guess we should start learning about how you first became friends.
Sure. So we actually went to preschool together. So we've been friends since we were about 4 years old.
Whoa.
Pretty crazy, right?
It's like you and Grace, Eva.
Yeah.
That's right. So we started collaborating together around middle school when we were 13 and 14, and we continued doing that all through middle school, high school, and college. And when we both graduated from college, we had moved out to Los Angeles and began a career in writing.
Can you explain to our audience how you work together?
Sure.
Yeah, so a lot of times we'll come up with different ideas together, and sometimes one of us will have the idea, sometimes the other one will, and then from there, we'll just kind of usually spend some time just kind of brainstorming together until we think we have an idea to write the story. And then once that happens...
Once we've got the story together, then we're very fortunate in that we've got a team of people who also work with us, including managers and agents and lawyers, who then get involved in that process to help set us up to go take projects out to go sell them to either film or television studios.
That's very exciting. It helps for sure to have a team of people. But I'm sure Jonny and Zach, it didn't start that way, right?
No, it certainly didn't.
No, in the beginning, it was just the 2 of us. We actually, when we first really started working together. We were living together in a small one-bedroom apartment. I was sleeping on Johnny's couch, and it was like a big sleepover, like when we were kids.
Every night.
And the same way that when you have friends over late at night, you just come up with crazy stories together, and then see what you can do with that. That's kind of how it started for us when it was just the two of us.
Right, and so actually, before we really had any idea how to sell any of our stories, what we found was there were a number of online writing festivals that you could submit your material to, your stories to, and we were very fortunate in that we were able to win a handful of those script contests, and it was through those wins that we were able to catch the notice of some people in town who then became interested in the ideas that Zach and I had, and that's kind of what really kicked off our career about 7-8 years ago.
So in other words, for our little listeners who dream big, we can say that if you got a dream, you got to take that and definitely explore it further and take action.
What's really neat that we found for especially the younger audience is that if you go online, whatever you happen to have a creative passion for, there's usually a community online in almost every instance that we can think of that is excited for people to share, whether it's music or art or storytelling, whatever your passion might be. And within that, there tends to be opportunities you can seek out that can help showcase and highlight what you can contribute to the world by putting it online for everyone to go see.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the same way that back in school we had teachers who would support our creative ideas, there's always those people, whether they're other friends that are the same age as you, or whether they're other adults that have been doing what you want to do someday. You can kind of find those teachers and mentors to kind of help you take whatever that dream is and keep going.
And it also didn't hurt that both of our parents were super supportive of everything. And when we said that we wanted to go study movies and TV, they, instead of laughing at us, they fully supported us and told us to go chase our dreams.
Yeah, I was just going to say that you guys gave great advice for little listeners, and then for parents who are listening with our big dreamers, it's so important to be supportive and really pay attention to what kids are into, because a lot of times we want them to go and become lawyers or doctors or something that kind of quote unquote makes sense, right? And a lot of times we think, writers or acting kind of doesn't make sense. So you are living proof that dreams come into reality and you can make it big in Hollywood.
Certainly so, but I think that the most important thing, and this is one thing that we were told over and over again when we were first getting started, and certainly when we were younger, is you gotta put in the work. And you have to try and try and try. And even though sometimes you fail and someone may, take a look at something you created and not like it, you've got to keep sending your stuff out, keep trying, and keep, moving forward and working and working and working until something that you've created does spark an interest from someone else. And that's the reality of really being able to achieve your dream comes from never giving up. Because there's going to be times over and over again where you're told that someone doesn't like what you've done, or it just didn't work for them, or a number of other reasons. But in spite of all of that, you have to keep moving forward, keep your head down, do the work, and chase that dream for as long as it takes until you're able to catch up to it.
Yeah, if it's something that you're really passionate about, you really enjoy, you'll find a way to make it part of your life, whether it ends up being something you do as a career or a hobby or whatever else it may be. But if it's something that's important to you, have that perseverance, and you can always make it a part of your life.
That's right.
Just keep going.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly right. You can't fail if you never give up.
Is it typical in Hollywood for writers to partner up and work together?
Sometimes. It's interesting. It's the kind of thing where there are writers who write by themselves. There are writers who work in teams of 2. There's even writers who work in teams of 3. Now, when it comes to television shows, they have entire rooms full of writers who work together to create the stories that you see on your TV. And movies, funny enough, while it may seem like only 1 or 2 guys have written it, usually the movie studios bring on a number of writers to kind of work on different parts of a movie so that it can all come together as well as it often does. So,
yeah, it's a big collaboration usually. So for us, we're used to already working with each other. So then when other people have to get involved, we're already used to being able to share our ideas and have other people be able to give their ideas to kind of all work together.
It must be interesting dynamic.
What do you do when you disagree on a storyline?
Well, it doesn't happen too often. But when it eventually does,
You don't even fight.
I mean, it's funny. In a lot of ways, we're like brothers. Because between the two of us, we have 5 older sisters. So we've been friends for so long that we kind of filled the brother role for each other. When we do disagree, we basically have this agreement that we've had for a while, where it's, I want A, you want B, well then together we're going to have to come up with option C. And that's how we settle agreements, is that you think your idea is best, I think my idea is best, well let's both work together to come up with something even better than those two.
I agree.
I like it. Eva, a lot of times like to work with her friends and with her best friends, and she has some friends from kindergarten. They went to different schools now, but they still get together and they come up with plays and scripts and write in a book, right, Eva?
Yeah.
So that would be good advice, right, to take for you.
Sure. And again, the best thing you can do when you're younger is, because you can do absolutely anything. You can color, you can write, you can put on, plays in your backyard or in your living room. Take that enthusiasm, that energy you have, and, just go out, have fun, bring in as many of your friends as you want, do things together so that you can learn, what makes a good play, what makes a good short story, what makes a good comic book, whatever it is that you want to do together. And the more you do it, the easier it will become to do it over and over and over again.
Yeah, I'm sure Jonny has similar stories, but for myself, when I was 7, 8 years old, I would be writing little stories, and I remember going around door to door in my neighborhood trying to sell this little 10-page booklets of little short stories, and those same things that I did when I was a little kid turned into the same practices that we use today in our jobs. So those practices and being able to use that creativity, it always can keep going forward.
Yeah, and if you knock on 7 doors and they're closed, knock on the 8th one, right?
Yeah.
Exactly right.
Just keep
That's
going.
the metaphor for life.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, so much, of your passion that's inside of you. The best thing you can possibly do is share it with the world. And so, like your mom said, like we've said, you knock on all those doors, and then eventually one of them is going to let you walk right through it. And it's going to be great.
Yes, but sometimes no matter how creative you are, you get stuck as a writer.
Sure.
I think it's called writer's block.
Do you guys have that?
See, that's when having a writing partner really comes in handy, because it's not often that both of us get writer's block at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So what's nice about it is that I can say to Zach, hey, I'm having a hard time this week. Do you mind pushing through? Or vice versa, he'd say that to me. And because we got each other's backs, so we're on the same team, we're like any other teammates. We're happy to take care of what other one is having a hard time with.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yes.
And I think, what helps a lot of times too is if you get stuck with whether it's writing or whatever your creative interest might be, take some time to just, live, have fun, and those ideas will come back to you. You can't always just force that creative thought. So, sometimes it comes to you in the bathtub. Sometimes it comes to you when you're playing with your friends. It's important. Yeah, so it's important when you get stuck to not let it get you down. Just keep going on, and that creative idea will come back to you.
That's exactly right.
So you guys, we know that you have a movie coming out, right, Ivan?
Yes.
Yes.
What's it called?
Nickelodeon, that I hope all of your listeners go and check out. It's called Legends of the Hidden Temple, and it comes out this fall. And it's going to be on Nickelodeon. It's going to be a Saturday night movie. It's going to be really fun. And it's a big adventure with a whole family. And you guys are just going to absolutely love it.
That's so exciting. I'm sure that's a big milestone in your career.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And so for us, it's actually based on a TV show we used to watch when we were younger. And so because of that, it was really fun to be able to take something we loved when we were little boys and to be able to adapt it and turn it into something that both children of all ages as well as adults from our generation and beyond can also enjoy.
Yeah, but how is writing for TV and movies different than writing for a chapter book?
Sure.
Well, the main ideas are all kind of the same. It's still always about what that big story might be and who those fun characters are. But I think for us, especially with TV, it's kind of like imagining a whole bunch of book series. So there's always continuing stories where you're always going to keep checking in on those characters. Whereas a movie, a lot of times there's a similarity between a movie and a single book, where it's just that one big thing that happens at one time in someone's life, and you're only kind of seeing that picture of that one certain time.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Eva, what is your favorite TV series that you can remember?
Well, TV...
Odd Squad?
Yeah,
Recently
Odd
you've
Squad.
been watching Odd
Yeah,
Squad?
Odd Squad.
That's kind of...
Cool.
So that's, I was just going to say, in other words, TV series, they kind of keep you engaged every single episode, and you kind of want more and more and more, like chocolate, right? Like Oreo cookies.
Can you go to Trader Joe's and get me Oreo cookies?
It's like they're in your pantry, and you go and you want more and more. And
Wait, didn't you already buy them? Can I
yes.
go to the cupboard and get one?
Right after we finish our interview, for sure. Yeah, in the movie, it's like 2 hours and it's over. That's what's cool about this. So how many series gonna be in the Legends of Hidden Temple?
So it's one movie.
Oh, it's a movie. Okay.
Currently. But if you guys all watch and it gets really good ratings and reviews, then hopefully they'll make another one.
Wow, that's exciting. Well, we definitely encourage all our listeners to go ahead, watch it, and give your honest reviews, because this is what helps our amazing writers to make their dreams into reality, and then we all benefit from it.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That's definitely the best advice.
What has been your greatest achievement so far?
Our greatest achievement?
Yes.
Well, I'd say that a couple years ago, we had the first script that Zach and I wrote was called Young Turks, and we had written it, and we didn't know what really to do with it. And so that was the script that we had submitted to all those online festivals. And when it started winning a bunch of them, we got really excited because we thought maybe we had a little magic in a bottle. And eventually, after never giving up on that script and always believing in that one in particular, we were able to sell it to NBC. And that was the first TV show we ever sold. And so even though since then we've sold a bunch more TV shows and some movies, I think that for us, that first one, really being able to, do something that so few people in this town actually get to do, which is sell a TV show to a major network, was our greatest accomplishment to prove that we were worthy of being professional writers.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
That's like a first baby, right? And then after that, it's just a snowball effect.
Yes, that's exactly.
Never give up. Always believe in your dreams.
Yeah, and I think that's just the best advice we can give is like we said, you can't fail if you never give up. And if you always believe in yourself, and you believe in what you're doing, it's going to take some time, which is okay. But if you never give up, it'll always work out.
And as long as you're able to share that passion, whatever that creative pursuit of yours is, you'll always be able to get something great out of it. Because I think for us, whether or not we have a million movies that are ever made, as long as there are people that read the stories that we come up with and enjoy it and get some entertainment or they learn something from it, then we feel like we've done our job and we've helped share that creative interest with other people and hopefully inspire them to do things the same way that we were inspired when we were kids.
Yes. What is your big dream for the future?
Well, I think our big dream for the future is to continue what we're doing, but just to continue making movies, writing them. We'd like to start producing them. I'd like to start directing them. And I think that if we can, continue on the path that we've been very lucky enough to be on, that everything is going to work out just fine.
Yes.
Well, I'm sure you'll do well in that area. And Jonny and Zach, what's very important for our listeners also to know is it's not a secret that Hollywood is a very competitive industry, and the movie industry is very competitive in general. So a lot of people have dreams to make it in Hollywood, but they give up before they reach their goal. What trait do you have that has enabled you to take your big dreams and make them into reality? Besides, never give up and keep going.
Well, I think one of the most important things that a lot of people don't realize is that once you move to LA to pursue your dream, or once you move to any big city to pursue your dream, whether it's tech in San Francisco, finance or fashion in New York, modeling in Miami, whatever it might be, entertainment, television, music here in LA, it's not going to happen overnight. And so the best thing you can possibly do is find some kind of a day job, night job, side job that can pay the bills while you're pursuing your dream. Because if you can find something that works for that, and is able to, be able to make sure that you can keep a roof over your head and food in your belly, then you can pursue your dream while not having to worry about the money side of things, and that'll make all of it that much more of a reality.
Yeah, and I think to keep in mind is, you should have that practical mindset too. There's statistics like, if you want to be a writer, it's just hard to be a professional athlete. But you know what? Somebody's got to be on that professional team.
Yep.
So why not you? If you want it, you just stick to it. And, it's always good to have a practical way to keep on going so your parents are happy, especially.
Yeah.
But, somebody's got to make those stories. Someone's got to, perform for that team. So if you want to be that person, keep going after it.
For sure.
Yes.
And I would also add that on top of everything, we have friends, we have family who believe in us, but it's also important to find community that will support and push us. Sometimes that's also very important because it's like Olympian champions. They need that team. They need those trainers, coaches that kind of sometimes believe more in athletes, right, than the athletes themselves. So for all our listeners, do not hesitate to ask for help when you need it, to ask for accountability when you need it, to be in that community that will push you forward.
We couldn't agree with you more. I think surrounding yourself with people who are doing what you want to be doing is the best motivation you could possibly have, because you're going to see all of your peers chasing that dream, and it's going to make you run that much harder toward it.
And, you get to share in their successes together, which kind of brings everybody up at the same time. So, don't look at these people as competitors. They're your fellow people who are doing the same thing you want to be doing. So when one succeeds, you all succeed.
That's right. And then it also makes when you succeed that much better because you get to share with all the friends that have been there with you along the entire way.
Yes. But if you go back in time and talk to your 10-year-old self, what would be the best advice?
I would say take all your future bar mitzvah money and invest it in Google.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Practical advice.
Yes.
But outside of where to invest the bar mitzvah money, I think I would say that. That's a good question.
Yeah, I would say keep dreaming, keep exploring whatever interests you have. Don't be afraid to fail, because there are always going to be moments when someone will say no, or someone won't see the thing that you think is so great.
Sure. Is
that great? But if you know that it's something you want to really keep pursuing, just keep going, and you'll find a way to make it a part of your life.
I also think I would tell myself to read more. I think that when I was younger, I used to read books that were assigned to me in school. But it wasn't until much later in life that I had a real interest in reading everything I can get my hands on that wasn't assigned to me. And so I think, more pleasure reading as opposed to homework reading is something I would have encouraged my younger self, as hard as that might be, to take in when I was 10 years old, and all I wanted to do was go play hockey.
Yes, and Jonny, maybe you can tell us, our young listeners, why it's important?
Oh, of course. So one of the things that's most exciting in life is that someone has written a story for every problem you will ever have in your life. And so when you're assigned books in school, sometimes you might get lucky and read one of those books that might help you figure out what's going on in your life and how to best for you to handle it. But if you go out and you explore and if your parents help you look on Amazon or at the library to find books that are, themed with things that you're currently going through, whether it's tough times, good times, big family, small family, divorced parents, single parents, whatever it might be, there's a book for that. And what you can unlock in that book is answers for yourself that are going to make your life and your journey that much more, easy to navigate, because someone else has been where you are right now. And if you're struggling, or if you're confused, or something just doesn't make sense to you, you can pick up a book that can help guide you as you figure out your way through life. And so I think that is the best thing we have as a whole people around the world, because every book has been translated to every language you can possibly find. And that's, I think, the most exciting thing, is all that knowledge from the history of the world. It's sitting there in the library for you to go pick one up and put it into your brain.
I agree.
Yeah.
And as a parent, I just want to remind everyone and actually advise most of the parents to create challenges, writing and reading challenges for their kids. It worked in our family, definitely. That's how Eva developed love for reading and writing. Just 7-day challenges where they every day will do something creative or read a creative book. And also, I would like to remind our little listeners that we are taking for granted the ability that we can go to school, we are able to read and write, but it's not like that for the rest of the world. And we should remind ourselves that we live in this amazing, amazing time in history where every piece of information is accessible just literally by our fingertips, right? We go and we Google and we even I grew up I grew up in Soviet Union. We had to go to libraries. We had to make appointments to get access to books and interesting writing materials. So it just, again, reminder that we shouldn't take it for granted. And it's not like that for the rest of the world. Some kids eager to go to school, but they can't, or they're not allowed to go to school. So that's something that we should all remember, right?
Yes.
Something we should appreciate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And the very last question before we end this interview is, where can our audience find out more about you?
Well, if you guys are on Twitter, which you probably shouldn't be.
You shouldn't be, but parents, you should be on Twitter.
If your parents are, if you're looking for more information on us, my Twitter handle is @Jonny Umansky, which is JONNYUMANSKY.
And I'm Z Hyatt, HYATT.
And that's probably the best way to go.
And besides that, watch Legends of the Hidden Temple and follow the work. Yeah, follow Nickelodeon. And we'll make sure to include all of this information in our show notes as well. So you parents will have links to Facebook. Well, I don't know Facebook, but Twitter. Twitter for sure. Facebook could be closed. But definitely Twitter and all of the other work, and definitely Legends of the Hidden Temple. Yeah.
Man, I don't have Twitter on my iPod Touch.
Oh, thank God. Not yet. Not yet.
But I want you to buy me it.
Well, awesome. Well, we had so much fun, Jonny and Zach. Thank you so much for joining us. I think that you gave us so many great pieces of advice, and just to remember, again, for parents to remember to pay attention to what kids like and what they're passionate about, and try not to put your perspective on what they like if it's not law or not to be doctor, right? So writers can be very, very famous in Hollywood too, as we can see Jonny and Zach. And again, our listeners, please never give up. Remember, if 8 doors or 9 doors or even 10 doors will be closed in front of you, there will be the next one that will open for sure.
Yep.
Right,
Well,
Tia?
thanks so much for having us on, guys. Really
This
appreciate it.
was a lot of fun. Really appreciate it.
We can't wait to see you again.
Oh, can't wait either.
Thank you.
Nice stuff.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening.
I hope you all enjoyed the interview as much as we did. That was one of my favorite ones so far.
Thanks to Jonny and Zach for all the wonderful advice. To the big dreamers out there, please be sure to check out the show notes at dreambigpodcast.com/7, where you can create your own personalized activity download with your face and name. This activity will challenge you to team up with a friend or family member and create your own story based on the illustration we have provided.
In this illustration, you are a superhero delivering coloring books to a children's hospital. It's awesome!
And once you complete this activity, let me know by sending email to olga@dreambigpodcast.com. And you'll be entered into a drawing to win $50 Amazon gift cards so you can get games or toys of your choice. And 1 month's membership to our sponsor, the Postpal Club.
Postpal Club is our own product we created where you receive 4 postcards each month, personalized with your face and name and pre-stamped, that you can mail to friends and family right away, ready to go.
That's right. We came up with this idea together because Eva loved writing cute notes, and my husband and I were loving that Eva was communicating the good old-fashioned way with pen and paper, rather than just emailing and texting. So we created this fun product to encourage kids to use snail mail to delight friends and family with handwritten postcards. This is a family-owned and operated business, and we'd love for you to check it out. We have a special offer right now for the first months at only $1 with no further commitment. So for $1, you can get 4 personalized postcards that are pre-stamped and ready to send to friends and family. Please check it out at postpalclub.com/dreambig to take advantage of this special offer for a limited time only.
Mom, I also wanted to mention there's a new winner of that Amazon gift card every month, and we announce it here on the show, so you get a special shout-out from me on the podcast.
That's right. So make sure to go to dreambigpodcast.com/7 to get all the details, subscribe to the podcast, share with friends and family, and listen to every episode to find out if you won.
Thank you so much, Big Dreamers, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Bye now.
Bye.